Okay, the market went south again today, but I keep telling people when it goes south, you go shopping and you get those ones that went down by about 5 or 10%, and you buy them and wait for Monday or when the nutcase gonna say something right and it goes up, and that's your money. It's have nothing to do with the shutdown. Because the market crash, we all burn for a while. But I'm telling you, I want what I'm gonna do. I got my sidekick. She don't believe me, so we gonna look at it. We're gonna look at that one again. We're gonna look at that GPUS again. That's the one you should keep an eye on, out on. And we're gonna share our screen because this is the one you should keep your eye on, even though right now it's down. And then another, I got another tool that talks about it. Probably do a little better assessment of it. Let me see if I can see if I got it up. Uh, it's called Insight. I bought that one too, so I'm gonna pull that one up because it give you a basic and dirty. I said, should I buy this right? He said maybe. Then it goes in and to the explanation because it's down about 10% right now. He said the price sits just above the 52-week low for below, the 50 cents. And, 200, the 200 day is $2.46 with low liquid intraday volume and stuff like that. But it says short interest, and that's what shorts do. The short do what shorts do. Plus, it's to have tiny float, and that's what I like to see. That magnify moves. The catalyst and risks, he said, recent, company moves like Bitcoin treasury and delivery in Michigan and whatever are positive, but no fresh SEC filing or major news in my assembly feed since early October. Fundamentals shows revenue is about 101 million, but that net loss is a high debt, which is 114 million dilutions and the execution risk. Decision for your cautious tiny starter approach. Starter, they say you should have less than 5% of your portfolio, which I do. About 10% of my, or watch for clear signs of price holding above 40 or 45 cents on the rise volume, or confirmed breakout above the 50-day, which is 50-cent value. Protect. You said use a hard stop about 20 to 35% below entry for tiny starters. Assumption you prefer tiny starters, seizing and prioritize capital preservation in micro caps. In other words, they're saying, if it's 5% of your portfolio, don't worry about it because, it's probably going to get there. This morning they said yes because it was around 35, 36 cents or whatever, but it still was low. It still was low. It can get high, this thing can get high as $9 in 1 year. So we're going to let's look at the market now. I got about, we go back. If we go back to, before we hit the market again, let's hit my other tool and see what I got. I got two tools looking at this thing, and it provides rentals and all this other. This is what it does. And you can look over that at your own leisure. But what I'm excited about involved in Bitcoin mining and data center operations, hotel operations, and commercial real estate holding commercial electronic solutions, and so on and so forth. So the company sells its product directly and indirectly through its sales force. It serves as Bitcoin mining, generating AI and metaverse platform development, crane services, and so defense, aerospace. That's what I'm excited about. The company was normally known as Alt Alliance Inc. It changed its name to Hyperscale Data in 2023. Hyperscale Data was founded in 1969. It's out of Las Vegas. So this is what I was looking at, and then we're gonna turn it over to the market. I was looking at, if I go down here, there's a lot of red. We always saw this before. It's in debt. Financial is definitely in debt. But Uh, what I was looking at was more that this in the last 3 months, these folks has been buying shares for whatever reason. They haven't been taking shares; they've been buying. So I'm buying too, and it's just general public owns most of this. So they're gonna stand to reap or gonna suffer. But it's only got about 3% of its institutions, and this alt company owns about 4 million, so they can override any of these other ones down here that's trying to do anything. BlackRock is really, he's got about 5 shares or something, which is nothing. Uh, Bank of America got 16.33. They talking about $4 and what, come on. The big news is up here. Milton Alt, he owns a little bit, 19,000. See, I own about 10,000 shares. So I would be around here. I'm thinking it's gonna do something. So let's go back. Let's share our screen again. Let's go to the market and see what's going on. Because it's getting ready to close and then go to after hours. It's 8 minutes to go. So we know that I got 5 shares in Apple. Apple is going to do Apple, you know. But then you got this one up here that I'm looking at. This one went down. This one was about 37, but I bought at 14. And I'm still over 100% of what my mine is. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep my seed in the ground because I think this one is tied to NVIDIA, and we're gonna go down and see what NVIDIA is doing in a minute. This is those rare earths. So I really got out. I was gonna get about some more shares. I said, no, I'm gonna stay about 1,000 shares with this. This one is starting to perk back up. You remember I bought it at like, I bought 100. It was at 28, and I went back got 900. I got my profits out. You can see I got my profits out. Uh, but this was starting to go. I'm gonna watch this one because I got a little money on the side waiting for it to go up. If it go up, I'm gonna put some more money on it. This one BBAI, they still doing something. BE, I went in and got 10. My son was telling me about that because it went down substantially um, from a high. So I went and bought 10, and it's haven't done anything, but it's still at a low. Okay, it's about 10% right now. It's down about 2% from yesterday. BTG same. You know, you want to keep those little ones fresh. CIFR, I bought it at 11. It's about 18. So I'm keeping my seed in the ground as long as I can. The DMI, I'm still waiting on this one to do something. This is the motorcycle one. GovOx is I'm still waiting on GovOx, but if I was you, I'd get out of GovOx. See, I only got 100. I used to have 5,000 of GovOx, but I got 100 of them because GovOx is not doing anything right now. Once one of these infectious diseases wants to start taking place in the summer and the fall and the winter, then you might see something going on. Uh, this is the one we just looked at, GPUS. This hyperscale was all. It's down to 32. I got it at 35. I went back in. Each time I went back in, I hit 1,000, then I went back, said 5,000, then I said 10,000. Because I think this one is getting ready to run. It's got a low float, and I know it's a short interest. And look like I'm losing money, but I'm gonna keep my seed in the ground for another day or two. I want to see if this one can get back up to, if it gets that back up to 35, I erased my debt. And everybody's been buying. Just say everybody's been buying. I think that one, based on the fundamentals, I think that one is going to be a winner. And I'm a stick. It was 40 about Wednesday. It was about 40, 41, and then that's what the insight was talking about. Honda, this one right here. This is acquisition, not Honda the car. Uh, it's starting to go back up again. Okay. This I bought at 17 and then it got all the way up to I think 30, close to 30, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. Intel's got earnings next week, and that's why it's starting to go back up a little bit. I got 100. This one right here, I'm proud of it. I went down and I got it at 57. I sold it and then got back in and bought 10 more, and it's starting to do something. This one, LAC, is starting to go back up again. I bought it at 67,399. It's at 67.75. I'm making a little bit of money. But I got 20 of them now. Then oh no, I got 100 of those. And then you got Lace. I still kept my seed in the ground on that one, even though that one was up at 8. They went all the way down below 6, and I held on, but it's back up again. Microsoft is being Microsoft, and Nvidia is being Nvidia. Um, NVTS is being NVTS. They were. I bought them high at 14. They would go. They want to tear all week. Now they're starting to go. I think they're gonna start going back up again. They were at 15 at the beginning of the day today, and you know, um, and then you got Poet, you got Plug. They going down and up. I'm keeping 300, and I got Poet. They starting to go back up. Um, PSTE and all them. We can go on and on. But SMCI, look, I started at 40 and now it's down to um, it's up $52 a share, and it was high as 55. But everything was going down. Everything was going down today. E-Trade's got earnings next week, confirmed before markets open on 10/22. That's my birthday. I guess you want to give me a shout out on my birthday next Wednesday. TVTX, I'm gonna keep my seed in the ground on that one. I got 100. I bought it at 23. It's right now it's 27. So it's at a good stage, and it should be higher than that. UEC, that's the uranium one. I bought it at 13. Right now it's 14. I'm still making a little bit of money. Then the UNH, that's the insurance one, and that's the insurance one is tied to the one that's the PSTV. It's looking good, okay. And then USAR, I went back out and I said, okay, that went down to 27 because it was all the way up to about almost 40, and now it's 27. So I went back in. I said, it's time for me to get back in. I went back in. I made a good move. It's 16. Right now, I'm losing for the day. It looked like, I started the day with like 64. Yesterday, I started the day with 65. But, I took about $5,000 out this week anyway, because we went all the way up to 70. I took 5,000 out, got to 65. And then now it's about 63 going. And then if it do what it do on Monday, I think it's going right back up to like 66, 67, because I think it won't stay that way. They have to get some news to really, maybe the Fed gonna cut interest rates again or something. He gonna do something, because like I say, the government is shut down. It's a lot of factors gonna happen next week. But that's where we are right now, and I'm gonna stay where we are. And I want that we're gonna close with a little loss, but it's not lost anyway. Uh, I mean, I almost wiped out all my debt this week when it went when a couple of times. I got down to $1,000 year to day gain, but then if you look on a year to net gain, I've gained $7,000. A year to trading gain is a little different. It's a little too. They talking like apples and oranges on both sides of the house. But right now we're doing good. We get ready to close and then going after hours. And I'm gonna look at that after hours. I'm not gonna trade anything until Monday and see what Monday gonna bring. So God bless you. God keep you. God cause His face to shine on you and give you peace. I'm getting ready to stop this because it's 3:59 and it's gonna stop in about less than a minute. And it's gonna go. I'm not making nothing today, but it's making me some money anyway. So we'll talk about it Monday. God bless you. I'm gonna stop sharing, and then I'm gonna get out of this house. Talk to you on Monday. God bless you.